Welcome to the Lead Pedal Podcast with your host, Bruce Outridge, where he talks all things trucking. Now let's get rolling.
Hey everybody, how are we doing today? Welcome to another edition of the Lead Pedal Podcast. This is episode number 1065, and we want to make sure that you're having a great September. We're going to start you off, bringing you up to date with what's going on, some trucking news, what's going on with the guests, and some events. So we got lots to get going. Let's get started right now. Some of the stuff that we got going on new here. We did a lot of stuff in the month of August. Just to give you a little recap, I think we had, we were at Big Rigs. We were at the Athens Truck Show. We were, where else did we go? It seems like I was at a show every weekend. Maybe I wasn't, but there was certainly a lot going on, and we are excited to bring you those. And I thought I'd start off with kind of a recap of what we've done. We used to do a separate episode on our hot topics. We've kind of stopped doing that. We are going to be, some of our radio topics, we are going to have a separate segments if they warrant the attention. But I thought I'd start putting it in the first episode here, just some of the snippets from our radio show. If you have not heard of our radio show or seen us on our Lead Pedal 1000 tour, we still are far away from 1,000 photos, my friends. That's right. We're trying to get 1,000 photos of all of our fan club members, anybody that's been part of the podcast, that kind of thing. And we've been doing okay, but I think we're at like 200. I don't know where we're going to get the other 800 photos. I might have to do some serious photoshopping. But anyway, we've been having fun on the tours. We've been doing some live broadcasting on the tours. If you want to, you can go back and from the radio shows and see all of that kind of stuff. You can go to mixcloud.com/leadpedalradio. That's where you can see all of our shows. And of course, we've got our LPR live show, which is a Wednesday show. We do it noon until 1 on Wednesdays, most Wednesdays. There's the odd Wednesday where we're not there. But if we're not there, we either try to put up an episode for you, or we just tell you we're not going to have an episode. But we generally try to tape ahead if we think we're not going to be there on a Wednesday. But for the most time, it's LPR Live because it's live. And we usually go on Instagram. We might go on our TikTok. And just talk about different things and see what people have to say. And so I thought I would share that with you here to get us started. We're going to be talking about some of the guests that we got coming on. We're going to be talking about events today. We got lots of stuff coming on, but here are some of the snippets from some of our LPR live radio shows in the month of August. And you can always go and find the full shows on mixcloud.com/leadpedalradio. But here's some of the episodes, some of the talks that we had, some snippets for you. Here you go.
So crazy stuff happens on that show. It keeps me laughing.
You're listening to Lead Pedal Radio, music for people behind the wheel.
Head over to Facebook now and hit the like button.
All right, hey, and today's show is brought to you by Ontario Truck Driving School. That's right, some of the best training you can get. We've been talking about training today on the show. How much experience do you think a truck driver trainer should have? They're saying they want less than two years in the States. Not sure that makes me real comfortable driving in the States. Oh, anyway, and they've put in a request to the FMCSA. I don't know if we even want my thoughts on that. Anyway, what's your thoughts on that? What I want to know, how much experience do you think a truck driver should have that's teaching another truck driver the ropes? Personally, 2 years wasn't enough. I think at most TTSEO schools, it's 5 years, I think is what most people are doing. Most people would like 10. Would you feel comfortable learning off somebody who's only had 1 or 2 years experience? I don't think I would. And that's what they're saying here. But there's a number of companies that seem to think differently. And also, this came across. So if you see someone falling behind, this is just like a little poem. If you see someone falling behind, walk beside them. If you see someone being ignored, find a way to include them. And always remind people of their worth. One small act can mean the world to them. So true. You never know how you're affecting people. I have a story about this driver who was promised $2,500 a week and got his first paycheck and it was only $200. He handled it really well. I'm going to see if I can put it back to the beginning here. And we're going to listen to this driver. All right, so he only got $200. He's going to call his boss. Here we go.
So they trip play on my money. I don't play about my money. Yeah. Can I speak to Mark and payroll? Let me speak to your supervisor. Because obviously we're not seeing eye to eye on this thing. You told me I'm gonna make $2,500 a week, and here's my check stub. It's $200. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Mark, do you know I take an Uber every day to work? Do you know how much an Uber costs?
You can find out more about that. So that's way to go there. And we'll see if we can get more of that later on. Yellow's downfall is rippling through the economy. As you know, Yellow Freight went out of business, went bankrupt, and that 99-year-old company left 22,000 drivers out of work. Did you guys hear about Taylor Swift gave $100,000 bonus to their drivers? This is a sweet, sweet thing, man. You want to be one of those drivers. Everybody wants to be one of those drivers now, right? So anyway, it just shows it's the stars do appreciate what truckers do. That's good to see. Hey everybody, you know we're all about doing good things here on the podcast. And so although Bill, it wasn't big enough for a separate interview, I wanted to tell you about Bill Lipset. Bill Lipset's released a book, and this book is called Waiting for Morning, and it's about an adventure when he went scuba diving and was lost at sea with his family. This thing is incredible. Now, I met Bill. I've known Bill through the industry. He's part of the trucking industry. He's been in a long time. He works for Seaforth truck training, and he's been in safety and all that stuff. So he's been around for a long time. One of the nicest guys you've ever seen. So we were at a trailer unveil for human trafficking with IMVR and Zavcor, and I brought out a book, and I got to say, it's something I'm looking forward to reading. I don't read a lot of fiction books. Anyway, I featured it on my LPR live show, and then I did an interview with Bill, and I just want to share it with you. This is a book you want to pick up. If you like to read, you truckers on the road, this is one you can get. So let's get on to the interview with Mr. Bill Lipset of Zavcor, and I'm going to say part author. He didn't write it, but it's about him and his family. I'm going to say part author for Waiting for Morning. Here we go, Mr. Bill Lipset. This is written by Christopher Bowron, but it is about somebody in the trucking industry. For those of you who know who Bill Lipset is, Bill's with Zavcor Truck Training Academy. And I was talking to Bill yesterday. I saw him at an event. We were doing Zavcor and IMVR did a trailer unveil. And so I was talking about the book. I did a short interview, which is going to come out another time. But this is something that happened to him in his 30s. Went on vacation with his family, got into a shipwreck. And This is the story, and they wouldn't release it for 22 years. They didn't want to release it for a long time. The father did not want it released. Bill's father passed away. The book is written in the eyes of Bill's father. Now, Bill's been in the industry for a long time, great guy, and they just released the book, and it's going like bonkers. So I just thought I'd do anytime I hear of people in the trucking industry doing things that are making everybody's lives better or interesting, I want to tell people about it. I like Bill; he's a great guy. And here's the book. All right, I'm here with Bill, and you just wrote a book. Now, Bill's with Zafcor, and we're here for another event.
I didn't write the book.
Okay, so why do we have a book? Tell us the backstory on this.
Over 20 years ago, I was in an accident. We were in the Gulf of Mexico. We were out scuba diving. We were 22 miles offshore. Our boat took on water, and the boat sank. We went for 46 hours, came through a huge tropical depression. The Coast Guard had literally given up the search at the point when a private plane had found us.
Wow.
It completely changed my life hugely.
Yeah. Are you afraid to go in the water now?
No.
Okay.
Learned quickly after that.
So now you wrote the book at the time, and you're telling, Christopher Bauer wrote the book at the time. Yeah. But then you're saying that some people didn't want it published right away, so it's been on hold for quite a while.
Yeah, it's been on hold for quite a while. When it was originally written, it was written through my father's eyes. And all the parties involved weren't in complete agreement with it. But about a year ago, my father passed away. His wife asked if we could publish it in my dad's memory, and it's what we did. It's an amazing read. It's got unbelievable sales. It released last Wednesday. The sales are off the end. It's hit #1 in a couple categories already, so it's pretty neat.
So your father's not going to come and hit me with a lightning bolt for doing this interview, because I had nothing to do with it, Dad. Like, really, I just here helping out, right? You know. Okay, so now, so is your dad? Is this? It's not fiction. It's an actual.
Oh, it's a true story, and it's seen through his eyes out in the water, looking back in time over our relationship, his relationship. It's miraculous. Like, the website is waitingformorningtime.com. If you go, there's some of the news media there, and even the news media is claiming it's a miracle we were even found alive. My dad had just come through a quadruple bypass. We had come through an awful storm. Like I said, the Coast Guard was literally giving up on the search when a private plane went out that was brought through the women. The women were fighting on shore to get people out looking, and it's literally how we came to be found.
That's got to be just crazy for life going forward. What is your thoughts reading this book? So did you know the person writing this? Were they with you, or how did they come to write this?
No, it was a good friend of my father's. He's out in Negron Lake.
Okay.
I think he's had 5 books. A couple of them have gone to the top. Over the years, he was hearing the story, and he had asked to write it a little while in, and he's done an amazing job. It really wasn't on my mind for a long time, and about a month and a half ago, I had to read it to approve it. It was a hard read. He has it so accurate. Yeah. He figured it out. He's a storyteller in his writing style, and it's amazing.
I was just going to ask you, and you just mentioned it. I was going to ask your thoughts reading this now. It brings it back like the day of.
Very, very, very hard. Like, very hard. Stuff I had forgotten about. There's a bit of comical stuff that happened out there. A lot of fear. I was petrified when originally the boat had rolled over. I tried climbing up on the hull, and I cut my legs all up. We had been scuba diving at the time, and there was a lot of sharks around. So it was an ugly time, and it wasn't. Luckily, my dad and Neil were there to talk me through it at the beginning. But with the story, you'll understand where the fear came from.
How old were you at the time when that happened?
38.
38. Okay. Yeah. So that's the prime. So now, what are you hoping to happen with the book? We're not gonna tell people too much about the book because I want them to buy and read it. But what are you hoping the book does for once it's out now?
The book is very faith based. Like, it's not Christopher Bowering is not an active Christian. Right. It was the only way it could be written. It was our faith when we were out there, our faith that our wives would be doing what they had to, their faith that we would survive through it. it's an amazing read. It really is.
Wow. All right, let me see this. So we're talking, it's called Waiting for Morning Time, Christopher Bowen, and best-selling author and cover art by Molly Bowen.
That's his daughter.
His daughter that does that. So it's amazing.
But anybody looking for it can be found at waitingformorningtime.com.
Okay. And that's so you can get online. Is it available in any bookstores around here, too?
It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It's just released last Wednesday, so it's just going out.
All right.
The purchasing options are online on the website.
Wow. For those of you that are part of Bill's family, you know what you're getting for Christmas now? It's going to be a Merry Christmas. Thanks, Bill. That was awesome, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, so there you go. There's some of the information and some of the talks that we had on LPR Live. Join us every Wednesday, 12 till 1, as we go through that and join the conversation. Hey, you know what? Right after this, we're going to come back and we're going to tell you about some of the guests we've got coming up, so stay tuned. Hey folks, have you heard about Driver Check and the services they offer? They have amazing services specifically for the transportation industry, along with many other industries. They have alcohol and drug testing, occupational health services, hearing protection, fit testing, and a whole lot more. They are a leader in how to handle cannabis in the workplace and also how to handle COVID in the workplace. And you do not want to miss their great event that they have each year, the annual Fitness for Duty Summit. So where can you learn more? Where can you get information in order to keep your workplace safe? Well, go to drivercheck.ca. And when you go there, if you meet the team, please let them know that the Lead Pedal podcast sent you. Thanks very much, and we'll see you later. September, we got lots of stuff on the docket. As you know, well, our first one was our truck was from our fan club member Ryan Masters, and congratulations to Ryan and his wife. They had a little baby. I think it was a baby boy. So new trucker in the family. Anyway. He was September 1st was his truck reveal. It was a 2006 Pete. Now we've got this episode, which is the What's New episode that we're doing. We're going to be talking in episode number 1066. Are there rules for shoes in the trucks? There's a misconception about shoes and flip-flops in trucking. We'll give you a recap of the Big Rigs Truck Show on September 6th. That was a great show that we had. We really enjoyed being there. And people want to know why do you have to pull the string to honk the horn in a big rig? That's our Let Pedal Q&A that came in episode number 1068. 1069, we have a beautiful 2024 389 X Pete that we're going to show you. We talked to the team at Skillix up at the Big Rig Show, and that's going to be coming out on September 8th. We're going to recap the Athens Truck Show for you on episode number 1070. And, when did Peterbilt start numbering all of their trucks? We're going to be talking about that in episode number 1071 in our Turn Back Tuesday. You know what? We've had Gord McGill, who's known as the voice of Gord. If you've had his podcast. He's going to be episode number 1072. He's been on the show a couple times, truck driver, and now he's podcasting, and we're going to catch up to date. We haven't had him on for a while, so we'll catch up to date. Can your sleeper berth be logged as off-duty? Somebody asked us that question, and we're going to answer that in our Lead Pedal Q&A. And then we have a debut 1978 cab over Peterbilt from our friend Mr. Brett Akey of Chrome Supply Warehouse. And Brett finally revealed it. It's a 7-year makeover, and we talked with him and Dave, who helped him build the truck, and find out all about that in episode number 1074. Episode 1075, we are live at Bison's. That's right. National Trucking Week was in Canada. It was that first week of September, and we were at Bison Transport doing some live broadcasting. We're going to recap that event for you. You know the white brand of trucks? Do you remember when they came in? That's right. Episode 1078, Turn Back Tuesday, will tell you all about that. Trucking scams are something that's... scams in general are catching a lot of people off guard, and we're going to be talking about that in episode number 1077. And can a team be cited for a messy sleeper? There's all kinds of misconceptions out there. We'll answer that question for you on Lead Pedal Q&A. And we've got some beautiful Jade trucks to round out the month. We have one. We saw two of them. This one's from Adam, and this was at up at the Athens Truck Show. And that'll be in episode number 1079. Hey, you know, the Truck Ride for Special Olympics is always a great event. We're going to recap that for you in episode number 1080. And then in 1081, when was the first Kenworth model came out? We'll recap that for you. You know what? Professionalism starts with you. That's right. This is going to be something that we talk about, and we need to continue to talk about that as our industry seems to be going in the wrong direction, and we're going to do our part to try and bring it back up. Are seatbelts really safe for truck drivers? Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of us thought they weren't, and we'll talk about that in Lead Pedal Q&A. And then we've got our final J truck from a guy named Dave, who was also at the Athens Truck Show, and that is going to be really cool. And that's going to round out our month of September, which is awesome because there's some great stuff coming up. We've been to some great shows, and we know you're really going to like it. Hey, you know what? Stay with us, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about some of the events that are coming up and how you can be a part of it. That's right. Right after I tell you about the Trucking Network Job Fair, which is happening in Brampton, Ontario on September 23rd. It's a Saturday, 8 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You're going to be able to go and meet all the different job carriers in the room. They're looking for mechanics, they're looking for drivers, they're looking for admin staff. You want to be there. It's at the Pearson Convention Center, and the best way to register is to go to the Trucking Network Events.ca. All right, let's get into what we have here as the events coming up, and there is a ton of them, my friends. So let's get into it right here. Okay, so we've been to a lot of events. When I was telling you about the events in the beginning, I forgot to mention, I've been to a lot, but I only remember two. Well, that's because a few of them were the human trafficking events that we were at. We were at one in Beamsville for IMVR and Zavcor, and then we were at another one with Walmart and Women's Trucking Federation of Canada. That's where I was. Sometimes I don't remember where I am. Anyway, hey, let's start with September here. Truck Driver Appreciation Week is September 5th to 10th. Go and celebrate your drivers. Say thank you. They do a really great job. September 5th, we're actually going to be at Bison Transport. So if you want to listen to the live show, go to mixcloud.com and /Lead Pedal Radio, and you can listen to it. We're going to be we did this last year at their event. We do interviews with people at Bison. We play some great music at Bison. They do draws and giveaways and all kinds of stuff. We're also going to be it's Truck Driver Appreciation Week in the United States. That's September 12th till 17th. So you'll probably see a lot of stuff going on there. September 9th, the Seaforth Truck Show's back in Seaforth for the Antique Truck Club. They're having their show from 10 until 4 p.m. So if you go to Seaforth, Ontario, basically go to the fairgrounds in Middletown. That's where they are. Special Olympics Truck Ride, September 16th to 2023 in Paris, Ontario. You can learn more about that at truckride.ca. We will be there. It starts September 15th is a Friday night. They do a bunch of stuff on the Friday, and then on the Saturday is the actual convoy and all that. So we'll be covering that for you. September 23rd, Trucking Network Mega Job Fair. That's the Pearson Convention Center. We just talked about that. You can learn more about that at thetruckingnetworkevents.ca. Bridging the Barrier event, Mississauga, Ontario, September 25th to 26th. That's from the Women's Trucking Federation of Canada. A great event. We will also be there for that. Again, there's a Friday night cocktail party and then a Saturday night. Sorry, not a Friday night. It's a Monday. It's a Monday night cocktail party going into a Tuesday breakfast. That's going to work. And then PMTC has their fall golf tournament on September 26, 2023. You can learn more about that at pmtc.ca. 1040C, the truck display, October 11th to 15th, 2023 at the National Monument, Fredericksburg, Virginia. And we have one actually that is going to be from RIMS. It's tentative right now, but RIMS Transport, we're supposed to be there on September 22nd, which is the Friday. So we'll be broadcasting from there. That's one of our Lead Pedal 1000 stops. We're just confirming some stuff right there for that. Driver Check is having their Fitness for Duty Summit on October 18th, 2023. It's a virtual event, but you'd still need tickets. So go to drivercheck.ca. And the Fleet Safety Council is having their annual conference on October 27th, 2023 in Brampton, Ontario. You can go to fleetsafetycouncil.com for that. There's an Atlantic Truck Show. I don't know when that is, atls.ca. And ISB usually has a business breakfast sometime in Milton. And that's going to be isbglobalservices.com. Has not been announced yet. So there you go. There are the listings we've got. Bordertown Working Truck Show and Shine is on Facebook. I've never heard more about that. They did something last year, and that's the way it is. So there you go. There's your events for you for September 2023 and beyond. Hope to see you there. It's going to be a busy fall for events for sure. Hey, you know what? Thanks for listening to the show. Join our fan club. If you're not part of our fan club, go to the Lead Pedal fan club on Facebook, and you can join and get part of it. Right now, we got over 700 members, so why not be a part of it? We do monthly draws, giveaways, shout-outs, whatever. All kinds of stuff going on there for sure, so you want to make sure you join us for that. And, of course, the best way to follow us is on our socials. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, TikTok, and I think that's it. I don't know where else we are, but we're there. We're not on Threads. I've gave Mark Zuckerberg enough of my time. Anyway, we will be around. Make sure you follow us at mixcloud.com/leadpedalradio. That's where you can find our live shows. Join us. We got Monday night trivia nights, Wednesdays LPR live, Fridays our Lead Pedal Fan Club show at noon, and then on Sundays we have usually the Tropical Days show. So join us. There's some great shows there where we go live, and of course we go live from events all the time. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Be good out there, and bye for now.
Hey folks, are you an owner-operator?
This has been another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. For more information or to subscribe to the podcast, visit theleadpedalpodcast.com and be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook and Twitter.